Greetings and welcome to another edition of Maxims of Law. This is part 15. Let's get right down to it. So we left off last time on property rights and possession. So let's start right there. So I want to remind everyone to please hit the like and let everyone know that we're here and we are examining these maxims of law. Again, just so everyone's clear, this is for entertainment, educational purposes only. This is not to be used as any kind of professional, personal, or legal lawful advice, financial or otherwise, not to be used in any way except for the purpose of the entertainment broadcast right here tonight. Don't do this at home. All right, let's proceed. And if we have everyone in the house, could go ahead and say hello in the chat so I know that this is getting out to YouTube world and we're streaming good. Sound looks good. Let's start. It is not incumbent on the possessor of property to prove his right to his possessions. Interesting here now. It is not incumbent on the possessor of property to prove his right to his possessions. He cannot be considered as having ceased to have a thing who never had it. Indeed. The touching or removing of another's property with an intention of stealing is theft. So there we go. The intention of stealing makes the crime of theft. When the question is as to the gain of two persons, the cause or title of the party in possession is the better one. So when it's a question is as to the gain of two persons, the cause or title of the party in possession. So the cause of the party in possession or the title of the party in possession is the better one whenever there's a question of gain. It is unjust that free men should not have the free disposal of their own property. Indeed. Again, that's part of your right, is not just the ownership of property, the possession or such, but also the free disposal of your own property. A deprivation presupposes a possession. Wow. So for something to be deprived means it previously had to been a possession of something else, someone else or something else. Interesting ways to look at some of these things with property and possession. A destruction of the thing is the loss of its owner. The destruction of a thing is the loss. Chattels justly possessed cannot be lost. So movable property here, chattels justly possessed, cannot be lost. Prescription is a title by authority of law, deriving its force from use in time. So this looks like part of the possession of even an adverse possession or a hostile takeover. By use of preserving and improving and maintaining, and over time to gain legal right to it. I want to get back to chattels because a lot of people might be unfamiliar with the term, and luckily we have Black's Law Dictionary here to help us out with these definitions here, which might not be in our typical vernacular. So let's get right down to it. What we have here is Black's Law 9th edition. And let's see if we could find it. It's a scanned H. I think we just passed it. Darn it. Okay, bear with me here. This isn't the best document for searching, but all the content is here. In the meantime, it's a good time if you want to hit the like or leave any comments in the chat here. Let's see, are we actually out of the C's here? No, okay. Jeez. Bear with me here, we should be there shortly. O's. This is a good reason why I like the actual hard copy of dictionaries and such. They're much easier to scan through, and there's always a serendipitous encounter of unfamiliar terms or ones that might be beneficial to use in the future. Conspirator. Goodness, there are a lot of COs. Alright, we gotta go a little faster than this. There we go, finally. So we're here to chattel. Chattel, usually plural, chattels, as we did see. It's from the 14th century. It is movable or transferable property. Personal property, especially a physical object, capable of manual delivery and not the subject matter of real property. That money is not to be accounted goods or chattels because it is not of itself valuable. Chattels are either personal or real. Personal may be so called in two respects. One, because they belong immediately to the person of a man, such as a bow, horse, etc. The other, for that being anyway injuriously withheld from us, we have no means to recover them but personal actions. Chattels real, are such as either appertain not immediately to the person, but to some other thing by way of dependency, as a box with charters of land, apples upon a tree, or a tree itself growing on the ground, or else such as are issuing out of some immovable thing to a person, as a lease or rent for the term of years. So, interesting here, it's a physical object capable of manual delivery and not the subject matter of real property. So we're saying that money is not to be accounted goods or chattels because it is not of itself valuable, the intrinsic value. Although that might be argued that some money does have intrinsic value, but we're not going to split hairs here. Chattels are either personal or real. Personal may be so called in two respects. One, they belong immediately to the person of a man. So your bow, your horse, your car, etc., these are your personal chattel, right? And then we have the other, for that being in any way injuriously withheld from us, we have no means to recover them but personal actions. So chattels real are such as either appertain not immediately to the person but to some other thing by way of dependency. So the box with charters of land, apples upon a tree is the real chattel, or a tree itself growing on the land. So, chattel personnel, a tangible good from the 16th century, or an intangible right, such as a patent, also termed personal chattel. So, an intangible right could also be chattel personnel. Chattel real, 16th century, a real property interest that is less than a freehold or fee, such as a leasehold estate. So when you don't own it free and clear, freehold, it's leased. That could be a real property interest that is less than that. The most important chattel real is an estate for years in land, which is considered a chattel because it lacks the indefiniteness of time essential to real property, also termed real chattel. Interesting. Chattel vegetable, a movable article of a vegetable origin, such as timber, undergrowth, corn, or fruit. So lumber leases from land. Chattel vegetable would be the lumber, it seems. Local chattel, personal property that is affixed to the land. A fixture. That's your local chattel. Personal chattel we saw, real chattel, unique chattel. A chattel that is absolutely irreplaceable because it is one of a kind. Then there's chattel lien. See mechanics lien under lien. Chattel mortgage bond, chattel paper from 1935. Interesting. A writing that shows both a monetary obligation and a security interest in or a lease of specific goods. That's from the UCC, section 9102. Chattel paper is generally used in a consumer transaction when the consumer buys goods on credit. Chattel paper. The consumer typically promises to pay for the goods by executing a promissory note, and the seller retains a security interest in the goods. Secured transactions. Chattel paper means a record or records that evidence both a monetary obligation and a security interest in or a lease of specific goods or of specific goods and software used in the goods. The term does not include a charter or other contract involving the use or hire of a vessel. So chattel paper would not include a contract involving the use or hire of a vessel. If a transaction is evidenced both by a security agreement or lease and by an instrument or series of instruments, written instruments, right? The group of records taken together constitutes paper chattel. So UCC, Universal Commerce Code. Uniform Commerce Code is international, and it somehow creeped its way into our Black's Law 9th edition. I'm sure it's not in the earlier ones. All right, electronic chattel paper 1998. Chattel paper evidenced by a record or records consisting of information stored in an electronic medium and retrievable in perceivable form. Again, from your Uniform Commerce Code. Tangible chattel paper. Chattel paper evidenced by a record or records consisting of information inscribed on a tangible medium. I love this. Inscribed on a tangible medium. News Now Lisa in the house. Welcome. Always good to have you here. Let's see. So we've made it all through the chattels. I think we all have a pretty good idea what chattel is and how it's been worked into the Uniform Commercial Code so that the paper electronic transactions can work with this type of movable or transferable property, real and personal. All right. Well, that's been a valuable digression, I should say, and a transaction indeed. And let's get right back to our maxims. While we're on topic here, we'll reread this. Chattels justly possessed cannot be lost. So that's quite interesting that you cannot lose a lease. You cannot lose the apples from the tree, right? They can be stolen, but if you're justly possessing them, they can't be lost. How do you lose the apple on your own property? I mean, a bird could steal it, but that would be theft. All right, let's continue. Prescription is a title of authority of law, a title by authority of law, deriving its force from use in time. So prescription is a title, script, a title by authority of law. deriving its force from use and time. So this alludes to adverse possession of property. I would definitely recommend anyone listening tonight to go back to the amateur playlist and look for the live streams on adverse possession. Quite interesting, and we had some great contributors in the chat that had real life experience with that matter and added a lot more to it than just the American jurisprudence text itself. There is no prescription for that which is not possessed. Again, prescription. Prescription is a title by authority of law. There is no prescription, no title by authority of law deriving its force from use and time for that which is not possessed. So no title of authority if you don't possess it. Interesting. Very interesting. When the parties are equally wrong or equal in right, the condition of the party in possession is the better. So we get to the possession is 9/10 of the law, or how does it go? Good enough, as we see in here. Let me get back to this here. 91K was a great one. Things abandoned, or which belong to no one, become the property of the first occupant. Again, we're getting back to adverse possession too. That does not truly belong to one which can be taken from him upon occasions. Is this News Now Lisa 2, I take it? Let me get that one off the screen. There we go. So that does not truly belong to one which can be taken from him upon occasion. So if someone can occasionally take it from you, it does not truly belong to you. One is not considered as acquiring property in a thing which he is bound to restore. So borrowing. Nothing is so consonant to natural equity as to regard the will of the owner in transferring his own property to another. Beautiful. Chattels are considered in law among the minor things. Wow. News Now Lisa, number 3. Greetings. All right. Neither disease, indigence, nor any evil of the same kind is more contrary to nature than appropriating or desiring to appropriate the property of another to our own use. Everyone is the regulator and disposer of his own property. Four. Wow, you got 4, Lisa. Congratulations. That's quite a good number of channels. I'll be looking forward to subscribing to them all. No one should lose his property without his act or negligence. A title is the just right of possession, that which is our own. It is so called from tuendo, defending. So again, with adverse possession is to defend the property as part of the requirement. So a title is the just right of possession, that which is our own. It is so called from tuendo, defending. Long possession produces the right of possession and takes away from the true owner his action. Adverse possession again. Land seized over time. A title is the just right of possessing that which is our own. Possession is a good title where no better title appears. I guess that's quite evident too. When a man has the possession as well as the right of a property, he is said to have jus duplicatum, a double right, forming a complete title. That's possession and right. Rights of dominion are transferred without title or delivery by prescription, to wit, long and quiet possession. Rights of dominion. That which is mine cannot be lost, transferred to another, or taken away without my own act, consent, or forfeiture. There we go. That which is mine cannot be lost, transferred to another, or taken away without my own act, consent, or forfeiture. No one can grant or convey what he does not own. The right of property is that sole and despotic dominion which one man claims and exercises over the external things of the world, in total exclusion of the right of any other individual. Wow. Powerful statement there. A person in possession is not bound to prove that the possessions belong to him. That alludes back to our first maxim in this section. Two cannot possess or own one thing in entirety, which is where we have trust to have a division of title, division of ownership. No man is compelled to sell his own property, even for a just price. Well, except for eminent domain, but that's another topic. The risk lies upon the owner of the subject. Not right, but season possession makes the stock. The legal conception of property is of right. Things taken or captured by pirates and robbers do not change their ownership. Things which are taken from enemies immediately become the property of the captors. It is one thing to possess, it is another to be in possession. And he has better title who was first in point of time. Ooh, that's a good one too. All right, we're on to the next section, which is punishment. See also crime and justice, which we have gone over. So let's proceed with this section on punishment. Agents and abettors are punished alike. Crimes are more effectually prevented by the certainty than by the severity of punishment. Wow. Now that's an important one right there when it comes to crime. The certainty rather than the severity. A prison is established not for the sake of punishment, but of detention and guarding. Wow. Detention and guarding. Those sinning secretly are punished more severely than those sinning openly. No one is to be punished twice for the same offense. Punishment adheres to the offense. Infamy arises from crime, not from its punishment. Death is called the last punishment, the extremity of punishment. The most extreme punishment we consider to be is death. No one is punished for his thoughts. The law punishes falsehood. Good men hate sin through love of virtue. Bad men through fear of punishment. Wow. Good men hate sin through love of virtue. Bad men hate sin through fear of punishment. One confessing willingly should be dealt with more leniently. A fine does not impose a loss of reputation or character. No one is punished unless for some wrong, act, or default. A delinquent provoked by anger ought to be punished more mildly, that the punishment may reach a few, but the fear of it affect all. He who spares the guilty punishes the innocent. He who sins when drunk shall be punished when sober. The intention is punished, although the intended result does not follow. Where the crime is, there the punishment should also. Let not jailers torture or augment the punishment of those entrusted to their keeping, but let the sentence of the law be the duly yet mercifully executed. Acting and consenting parties are liable to the same punishment. The punishment due to a crime of which one falsely accuses another should be inflicted upon the perjured informer. All right, listen to that one, audit them. The punishment due to a crime of which one falsely accuses another, should be inflicted upon the perjured informer. Let's all keep that in mind next time people are making false reports about good people exercising their rights. He threatens the innocent who spares the guilty. The smallest corporal bodily punishment is greater than any pecuniary one. It concerns the state that crimes remain not unpunished. Plenty do. Doesn't seem to concern the states. The deprivation of any right may be punished. That's Cummins versus Missouri. The deprivation of any rights may be punished. A transgression is multiplied. The infliction of punishment should increase. No, as transgression is multiplied, the infliction of punishment should increase. Punishment increases with increasing crime. Punishment ought not to precede a crime. Let the punishment be proportioned to the crime. Punishment is to be measured by the extent of the offense. In whatever thing one offends, in that he is rightfully to be punished. The punishment shall have relation to the nature of the offense. Neither punishment nor remedy takes away from the increase which was before. No wise man punishes in order that past things be recalled, but that future wrongs may be prevented. So this is where the wisdom of audits comes into play, because the audit has the purpose of finding things that past things we won't use the word punishment, but errors, instead of just recalling them and even punishing them. The purpose of the audit and to bring these to light is to prevent the future occurrences, the future wrongs. So when a wrong is discovered, it's not a matter of the punishment that it be recalled, but the punishment should be a preventive or corrective action so that future wrongs may be prevented. So that would be the intent of audits, should people ask. No one is to be punished for crime or wrong of another. So collective sin. A person may not be punished differently than according to what the sentence enjoins. So we're on to relation and incident. And if everyone's still here, I'd appreciate it if we hit the like. It looks like we've kind of dropped off the audience, so perhaps this is the time to call it. And we're going to continue next time on relation and incident. These have been some pretty strong ones we've gone over tonight, with personal property and punishment. Two very contrasting aspects of our existence here in the free world that it behooves us to be familiar with, so that we can exercise and have the full enjoyment that's been bestowed upon us to have access to this without the encumbrances of tyranny to the extent that many of our ancestors had to endure. So with that, I would like to thank everyone once again for coming out. This is really a great series here that we're going through. Once we're done, we're going to have actually read through, digested, and contemplated hundreds of maxims of law that will definitely help enhance our day-to-day existence and help us thrive in the type of society and civilization that was expected from our forefathers for us to enjoy and to pass on for posterity. And only by using it will they persist. So salute to you all for being here. I hope to see you all in the next one. Please hit that ring notification bell to make sure you're notified of the upcoming streams. And I will see you all on the next one. Thank you all, and peace out.